Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Centauri Let's Play. This is Northstar. I hope you folks are well. For those new to my channel, welcome. Those returning, welcome back. The new folks, this is our playlist you can check out from the beginning. And a heads up, I struggle with long COVID. I'm disabled by it. It does leave me too soon to work, but more relevant for this. It makes it harder for me to focus, remember stuff, think clearly sometimes, think quickly, so I apologize. How that can sometimes affect my streaming. I'm doing my best, and I need this channel to get to where I can make money to hope to be able to survive, especially with the way the government screwed me. I have Social Security disability insurance by a work credit system where you don't get anything unless you have a certain number of work credits that just happens to plateau about 30, 31, and doesn't increase again until like 42, which is blatantly unjust instead of a slow, steady rate of increase, and has exemptions carved out for things like, and this affects me with two different jobs you work while you're a student at a university more than full time. Can't get earned credits at all before the age of 21, and after, like in your grad school, that carve out screws over people who go to grad school like me. And then that plus periods of retraining, to become an EMT. It's not like you get work credits for retraining new job skills, which becomes more and more common. Our climate today is people have to retrain more and more often. I end up doing the EMT course for a while. I end up also periods job searching, like when I moved from an England flyover state in the US where I was trapped and unable to find jobs in my field after graduating grad school. Can't just get a job in the hard sciences out in the middle of nowhere. And family didn't follow through and promise to help me move. I got stuck there. And when I got the money, I moved to a jobs in my field, and then I had to job search for a while. So that also screwed me out of potential work credits. So the fact of the matter is, especially because I've been out of the field for a while, so I ended up not being able to find jobs in my field at that point. No one hired me after that long out of the field, and having to go retrain as an EMT and then work as an EMT, emergency medical technician. For those who don't know the acronym, I working on ambulances, saving lives of people who call 911. Anyways, I'm here. Last turn I think it was near the end of the video, some forest growth, which I'm pretty sure every single condenser I've planted on flat ground and not put a farm on. No, there's still one here. Over here by Defense Command, but every other one besides that. Oh no, there's these two, but the rest of them have all been overgrown with forest at this point. Happened a lot quicker than I expected. And this I don't even think has forest adjacent to it yet, so that's not going to happen quickly. And this one hasn't had forest adjacent that long. That'll probably be the next to be overgrown. But yeah, that won't actually pay off. In fact, it just creates extra eco damage until I reach tree farms. Although, well, that's not entirely true. It does still increase rainfall in neighboring areas. Like this one supports this mine, so it's rainy instead of moist. Oh, I made before I lift the nutrient cap, I have a 2 nutrient, 2 mineral tile. At this point, I might switch this to condenser or solar panel for more nutrients. Solar panel would swap 1 mineral for 1 energy, but then also 1 nutrient, which equates to 1.5 energy if I'm running a specialist and I don't have to put extra points in the Psych. Or, yeah, the solar panel, only 30% will go into Psych. So it's like point, and there's some inefficiencies. So like, it's like 2 energy instead of a mineral. Not necessarily a perfect trade-off. Of course, that's assuming you don't get things like Defense Command if I had 2 nutrients instead of 1. I could, I'll just show this. Oh, no. A base cannot. Yeah, because bureaucracy drones, not enough energy into Psych. Yeah, it cannot. The next one would just go into labs. Cannot, boom, cannot reach a golden age. So the whole thing I figured out with being able to trigger golden age and then assign pops and boom before the golden age ends. Some people, some assholes, honestly, may call that an exploit, but it requires very specific combination of you have to play as the peacekeepers, you have to get the human genome project, and to make it cost effective, you can still do it, but to make it actually worthwhile, you need the weather paradigm on top of it. That's a very specific combination of secret projects, and it's really doable. You can't even do it in Transcend or at all, really. Sort of doable in Thinker to a much more limited extent than here, and not at all in Transcend, as I said. So it's more of a librarian and below thing. It's not. I've argued before, Transcend messes the game balance up too much. Thinker a little bit, but it's necessary to give the AI the boost it gets. That really people should play on Thinker and then use AI mods to make the AI tougher instead of playing on Transcend. Which, among other things, encourages more base sprawl because the bases can't get as big due to lower happy cap. I mean, you can already see that I have a lot of bases. If I were playing Transcend, I'd probably be packing the bases even denser because I wouldn't be able to keep as many pops happy. It's dumb. People always do Transcend. Anyways, I did do a little off-camera micro. I canceled the rec commons, switched into formers here and civil rights. I already have hurried this former. Civil rights agency. Yeah, I don't think there's any incoming minerals from chops to either of them, so I should probably hurry this one as well. Mountain command.
Request confirmation.
Formers. I don't, because of being able to do that, we'll check before there's no reason to do the rec commons. Like this base will grow to size 6. I'll drop out the golden age, and I'll assign a doctor, some doctors will go back in. I'll have to assign farmers again. Can't prevent it from dropping out of the golden age easily. Could do this. That would prevent it. Yeah, that would prevent it, but yeah, I'd rather grow a bit more slowly and have the extra minerals and energy. And then unassign possibly this 2-1 tile instead. So less of a need to emphasize nutrients. The nutrients are needed to be able to do this kind of thing because you need a nutrient stockpile. So in many cases, we're in nutrient deficit for a turn to get into the golden age. So you have to stockpile nutrients, then golden age, then grow. It's more expensive, and the rec commons are almost. That's the thing. People who say, like, oh, let's get around the facilities. Barely. If you compute the costs, this barely saves you at a reasonable price per nutrient, mineral, or energy. You barely come out ahead. It's just a little bit better than building the rec commons. And it makes peacekeepers, who many argue are one of the weaker factions, competitive. So it's something that's unique to them. Their ability to pop boom much more easily thanks to easier access to golden ages, especially if they pick up the Human Genome Project, which I did. Anyways, UN fiscal monitoring. Since this is about corruption reduction. And a healthy democracy. I like to think that the democracy the peacekeepers are setting up would probably also have Wow, now this is +7 minerals. Nice. Let's get to 11 minerals in the colony pod. Next turn I can hurry. 2 rows to go, and it being a colony podder. I forget formers also. No, they don't have the same increased cost, but it being a colony pod, still be that mineral be worth quite a bit of energy, so it's still good, even if it's overshooting by 1. The minimum to rush without extraordinary cost. God, I really hate that music. Yeah, I don't like that ambience. I'm gonna pause that. I mean, mute that for a second. I like to think that the peacekeepers' democracy would have proportional representation, maybe. I was actually just did a politics video about that. Because you can't have a healthy democracy if you're just got like winner-take-all system and two parties dominating the entire political landscape. Two-party system is not much better than a two-party state is not much better than a one-party state in terms of having actual healthy democracy. Although, even with proportional representation, we're seeing, which is actually the most common electoral system in the world, like the more democracies use proportional representation systems than first past the post voting or any of the other alternatives. It's got a plurality of countries that use it. But even with it, you're still seeing a slide towards fascism around the world because it's not enough to make for a sustainable democracy. It's just one piece of the puzzle moves in the right direction. Of course, a lot of the countries use it are in Europe, and Europe has other issues to deal with, like very long histories with excessive nationalism attached to those histories, which gives the fascists an advantage that the US has a population that doesn't care about history much, which thankfully makes it a little harder for the fascists, although that also makes it harder for socialists to say, look at history, capitalism has failed us and is failing us. So it cuts both ways. It tends to keep people apolitical or into very moderate politics, which is held up as this, moderate politics are always the best. Moderate capitalists, what they mean is within the Overton window, what's considered moderate or centrist is always based on who holds the power. That ambience isn't going to go away. I don't want it to be complete silence. Alright, anyways, boom. Boom. Got a colony pod here. Could reassign it to get its support from fiscal monitoring. So might want to rush this colony pod at Planetary Trust eventually. Needs to be setting up design agency and disability rights. Disability rights be done first, and I guess this does design agency, which is not a very high value base. I should establish this base too. Could allow for longer names if I drop the periods from UN, but I'll just call it UN terraforming. Or what about just UN terraforming? Kind of like UN civil. Wait, what if I called it like World Health Organ? UN terraforming organ for terraforming organization.
Terraform complete.
Huh, that fits. Alright, I have a better idea. Terraforming trust. Terraforming trust. But yeah, the terraform complete was right on schedule. I think it was completion of this farm under this condenser. I think the farm was just did the condenser first. On the river here. Yeah, because I thought about letting it be overgrown, but I said I need the nutrients to... Where is that being worked by, though? Oh, this base. Yeah, that's probably the right one. Since the first couple growths are slow until I get the planetary transit system, then I can grow quicker. Yeah, they probably actually legit need to police infantry. Fiscal monitoring, not so much. They already have a scout patrol. In fact, I'm already doing police infantry because they need probably at least one into police anyways. With the bureaucracy drones becoming a problem. Looking at like... Look around, there's probably some bases. That's parade ground. Alluvial Council has a... No, actually that's standard. No, it's over 5. Alluvial Council has a bureaucracy drone. It should be 2 talents a worker, and then it should be 2 talents instead of a talent a worker there. So Alluvial Council. Defense Command. And Forest Agency all have bureaucracy drones. And Monitoring Agency. Yeah, so I have 4 bureaucracy drones floating around now. What pushed me over the limit had to have been parade ground. Capturing it. I didn't get the warning about bureaucracy drones. This will probably add a 5th. Resettlement Agency. Temple of Soul. That's kind of weird. Alright. Trust is a slightly fewer characters than Agency or Council. So, Resettlement Trust. Trusts. Not in the sense of like monopolies, like Monopoly Capitalism. You get the phrase trust. Antitrust law, but, you know, more in the sense of like community trusts, which are often non-profit organizations that have like banking investment roles in a local community. Sometimes get government funding. What? Alluvial Council's trying to restart Golem Age so that it can boom again, so it doesn't need the nutrients. Technician, or I could just work one of these. Should probably work that. Mineral is worth at least as much as actually put down there. I didn't do anything, but yeah, this is the least likely to accidentally get disrupted by mine worms. Okay, about it does direct my attention to that, which I want to keep an eye on how I use this tile. If I do this, I get an economy and a psych point. That's basically this gives a lab point, and boom. Alright, the scout patrol on the way. I do not need the police infantry. Recon rover. Support here. I guess that'll help with the missile squads. Or, yeah, because this base is hurting for minerals, and I'll need to have even fewer to boom it. Swap from one of these to one of these. Should put it at neutral minerals, 0 plus 0. So I guess that's alright, but still I like the flexibility. Bloody music. Alright, I think I want this recon rover to be support here, rather than the one that's already on the tile. Keep bombarding me with that annoying music for quite a while. The game is. Let's go and hunt worms there. That's a good place to be. If the server on the way through here finds a worm, I can attack it and then go right back to the base to heal. This commando rover should heal. Guess I don't forget about it, just skip turn. If I Sentry, I might forget. Yeah. Huh. Same thing there. to shoot this thing. This server probably should just go right back in EO. Oh well. Wait a sec. Sorry, that stupid ambient annoys the heck of me. I wish there was a way to skip it. And it's just the one when you found a base. Not fond of it. That's right. Stupid thing has to do that. I don't wanna. Darn it. I have to repeat some of this. I know. You're probably annoyed. I make stupid scripts. Sometimes I'm on COVID. Yeah, I shouldn't forget about this is growing anyways. But did this base get a bureaucracy drone? Oh, it says E. Should have 2 talents in it. Oh. Alright, I need. Get that tile up. Isn't gonna be able to boom to size 9 easily enough. Alright, well, reason why is this, because I want both these working high productive food tiles. Yep. Let me just do this. Run down the nutrients for a little. Decrease energy. Very much need it. Maybe not. That's a calling pod. Yep. Which is very important. Base will shrink back to size 7 when I do the calling pod. So cool. Bada boom. Or no, they actually legit need the police cemetery. Didn't give me the terraforming complete thing, but it happened, and UN Resettlement Trust founded. The reason why is I made a mistake. I had to repeat all that. Of having the skip turn before. Having the skip work just be a tad before. This needs to make its way back to Resettlement Trust. I didn't know if I'd get a mind worm on that. I didn't, but it was a risk. Actually, Defense Command could really use minerals. So I got some progress on this former unit. Might super rush. It's only 2 minerals. But also, after the former, I might want to do another naval unit. Maybe an impact rover to help with war there. Missile rovers go obsolete later. So that's why I did these. But the impact rovers are most often beneficial for just immediately swing things in my favor in this war without having units like the recon rovers are going to go obsolete or actually fight poorly against some of the Spartans' synth metal armored impact infantry. By doing this instead of impact rover, I also delayed the point where I would start paying another unit's upkeep. Space is kind of hurting for minerals. I'm just gonna pop boom. And it's gonna golden age next turn. Just passively with the police unit. Police infantry I just upgrade. And then I can switch to one of these flat rainy plains. Boom. Not even having the golden age end immediately. And swap that off. Just work a rolling moist tile for 1 more mineral. Which give me up to +5. That'll be +4 in the impact squad, which costs 27 minerals, so cool. And then missile squad. Impact rover missile squad. Anyways, instead of directing another mineral to civil rights agency. What? I think I'd like to do one to defense command. Give me a moment to think a little more. Alright. Had to think about this a bit. Thought that crossed my head, and probably a good idea. I really need these formers. I don't necessarily want to support 2 units from here. But I do want to support the Defense Command Recon Rover, because Defense Command really does need to get some naval units in production. At this point, I have 2 transport foils and a laser foil. That's it. And that Isle of the Deep could weigh me down to even fewer ships. So if I want to have a navy still, I'm probably going to need, to work on some ships. So there's only an extra row to yeah, there's used to having my ships rarely end up in defensive combat. And there's used to putting the prototypes on land. Where is the Poitiers? Did I accidentally get rid of it? I was sworn. I probably just marked it obsolete since I still had some. Laser foils, laser skim ships. I don't have any laser skim ships left. Oh, these already have laser weaponry. So if I later want to upgrade some stuff, some laser skim or some laser foils, and this only costs 30. It might not trans and plasma steel armor. No longer marking laser skim ships, the laser foil obsolete. Because I probably want to produce some and then can upgrade them to plasma steel later. Do I? No. Or I could do laser skim ships, upgrade them to real missile ships, which are far more useful. No, that's probably better. Where are the missile skim ships? 4 rows, 36. So it costs 80 to upgrade a laser skim ship. One of these 80 energy. Yeah, a moment more. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, the laser foils are the laser skim ships I'll produce. And then someone will get upgraded to missile skim ships eventually. Where is that design? Laser foil. Laser skim ship. Boom. So missile skim ship is 4 rows, and then there's 44. Well, yeah, it costs 80 energy to upgrade for 2 more mineral rows. That may not seem cost effective, but if I'm putting it off and getting return on investment on those minerals, eventually it can be cheaper to do it this way. Use laser skim ships to deal with the Isles of the Deep and such, and explore. And then eventually, when I'm more worried about deterring other factions from attacking me or actually fighting them at sea, upgrade them to missile skim ships. It's worth it. Now, I can get one of these in production. My navy is so darn weak. Anyways, the thing that I was thinking about is I probably want to disband this recon rover. Yes, it costs 2 rows of minerals, so 18 to produce, and I'll be getting 9 out of it, so I'm throwing away 9 minerals. But the doubling formers, I'm working hand in hand with colony pods. Colony pods have about 10 to 15 turns to pay for themselves. A little worse once you start getting bureaucracy drones, maybe 20. Formers I'm balancing so they're around the same. So if I don't have immediate use of the recon rovers, aside from hunted mine worms, which just barely covers the cost of replacing the rovers, within like 20, 25 turns, I'll come out ahead with this. And actually, because it takes so long to produce this former, this winning like 9 former turns, turn advantage on top of the minerals being more, well, with this area being so undeveloped, to pay for itself very quickly is the point. So yeah. Boom.
Request confirmation.
I need 1 more mineral. So next turn I can rush this for just 19 energy. 2 turns instead of 11. So I'm saying get 9 extra former turns. And that wasn't going to honey mine worms next turn, but I don't have to pay the support costs for a turn now. Or a couple turns. Next turn might have gotten some worms. So yeah, sorry, throwing away 8 minerals. Given the support that on a turn where I wouldn't have seen hunted worms. Throwing away 8 minerals for 9 former turns, it's worth it. Of course, the only reason I had to do this is no free minerals because I'm running democracy, so it's to compensate for that. The commando level recon rovers get turned to heal. Scout patrols head towards the base. It's gonna end up acting as police there eventually. I don't know for sure that, say, this is worthwhile. Depends how the bureaucracy drones distribute. Yeah, no, actually, it's not. At least not for the first unit. Formers, then maybe police infantry after. Formers first. Boom. Random mine worm attacks are extremely rare, and that's not why I was doing the police infantry, and I really have a lot of terraforming to do, so. More formers, and you guys can see. I'm now on my way to having 48 formers at this rate. So. Nice. Sorry about that. Somebody make some noise here. So okay, the stuff I am currently the not the leader in wealth or military. Santiago is still considered the military leader, although I'm working on reducing that. Of course, I'll lose some units. I probably won't be the military leader, and then I'll probably become the hive or something. Deidre is not yet the tech leader, but eventually wealth will translate into that. It's worth noting, that the more energy credits you have reserved, the more expensive your bases are to thought control. So all the energy she's sitting on is entirely worthless. The Hive tried to steal one of her bases, though. I don't think they will, and it's not particularly cost effective to do that, especially for the Hive with how much they're hurting for energy normally anyways. In fact, their energy reserves 117. I was sworn before it was saying they had like 3. That's a lot of infrastructure. 6 children's creches, 3 network nodes. I was sworn they had more. They might have had to sell off something because they were going broke. And the AI, I guess, overbuilt. Or maybe something like a mindworm attack destroyed some solar panels they're counting on. It's not necessarily always the AI planning badly, sometimes stuff like that. It would make sense to hold infrastructure as long as possible for selling if they had no other options to get the most benefit out of it. But yeah, so Deidre with our high efficiency, she really should be running up the lab slider or hurrying lots of stuff to improve her economy or industry, but she's just sitting on the money. She will be the tech leader because as long as I'm distributing 40, 30, 30 like this, the guys have higher tech rate than me. When I'm at 50-50, if I got rid of the Psych, I would be back to out-teching them as I was before. It's also worth noting, democracy planned. I was thinking about what exactly that represents in terms of why the police rating is better. And on top of everything else, I think maybe the populace is a little more accepting of the use of police if they know that the police aren't just defending the power of a unaccountable bourgeoisie billionaire class, that is. I think it even references something like that in the free market. Citizens rendered suddenly poor by the actions of unscrupulous moguls may revolt against their energy fan masters. So yeah, people don't particularly take well to police suppression of dissent when they are living in a nation where the government is controlled by the billionaires. But when you have socialist democracy like here, people are more accepting of the use of police because they know that the government represents their economic interests, at least. That's one theory about what's going on there anyways. Of course, police state gives a higher police rating probably just because civil liberties are crushed and people don't have a choice but to accept police. And there's commentary on why that has higher police rating too. But yeah, I'm a democratic socialist nation here right now. It's the peacekeepers of planned democracy. None of the police state planned nonsense, which would be the game of the Soviet Union, and leads to economic paralysis unless you have an efficiency bonus as your faction or you're the Hive, which is a negative caricature of communism. It's utterly inaccurate. The Hive, it's ridiculous, and I will definitely do a free drones game at some point. Maybe also the Believers though, because people think Believers are only for conquering. You actually do a really nice hybrid game with them, using their high support rating to have a ton of formers. I have about 2.4 formers. I checked I have 20 bases. Where is my other transport? Oh, it's here now. That's a probe team. Give me a moment more. Just trying to remember why the heck the transport is here, what I need to do with this recon rover. I think it just needed to heal. I did end up recalling something here about what I might do with this transport. I think I'd use it to transport I don't remember why the heck it was there, but might have been used to get police infantry out here quicker. This was my guess. I can't even remember. I'd have to review the videos, and it's honestly not worth my time. My long COVID brain, I can't remember stuff often, but What I can do here is a condenser, and I'll add a nutrient here, and 2 nutrients in this tile, as well as improving rainfall. And since I'm probably, let's swap that, and probably need to work that tile some intermittently. On occasion, maybe working more doctors, but I run out of other stuff to work. I need the nutrients, the new base. So, road. After the road is done, I can have these 2 formers go and help as well, and have all 3 work on a condenser there. And then probably do a condenser at this site. So this would be 5 nutrients, but the condenser would be 7. Maybe a farm here first. Since if I remember, let's see, farms are 3, condensers are 8. Yeah, more former turn efficient, so first farm and then go east and do a condenser, another one. Creating a whole bunch of rainy terrain and making the map greener, which is a nice little cool visual indication. I'll also make this into a rainy tile. It's adjacent to 2 condensers. I think that's one of the few tiles in range of alluvial council. It's over 1,000 meters, so good place for solar panels, maybe. Oh, that one too. But yeah, could make it into a farm solar. Get 312 yields. And the reason I want the energy is so that some of it might get diverted into Psych. Oh wait, it's already getting to Psych. Never mind that. I'll probably just be another farm condenser tile eventually, or farm mine. Although tree farms give the same nutrients as farm mines, same minerals, and an extra energy to boot. For easier and farm returns too. The problem is the actual tree farm building is very expensive to build. So you're actually better with the farm mines for a long time, even though you get bringing less energy that way. Heck, you need 3 forests that way just to even break even on terms of the upkeep costs of the tree farm. To pay for the 6, what is it? Tree farm is, no, it's 12 rows for a tree farm, I believe. Yep, 12 rows. To pay for that with increased energy income, where usually it's about, I mean, even if you hurried most of it, you're still talking, the first row has to be minerals, which I buy minerals about 3 energy right now. And then the remaining 90 eat can be purchased at 2 energy minerals. So you're talking 30 plus 196, so 226 energy. to even make that back in a reasonable time, you need to be working like 6, 7 forests, and on top of just what it takes, so like 10. That's a lot. Just say tree farms, their greater benefit is ecological, is clean mineral limit, which is also, by the way, part of why I'm doing medical college, because I got too much pollution essentially at headquarters. So I'm going to shift some of the mineral production to another base for now. Put off the first tree farms longer. And first fungal pops, possibly. Might be able to take some tiles off of World Health Organization too, like this forest condenser. Reduce eco damage there as well. I'm almost tempted to call it like UN ecological whatever, but you know, doctors, physicians can be active in politics and advocating for things like, you know, reducing pollution, because that affects human health, and it's very much they have to treat the people who get sick from pollution. In fact, the air pollution kills tens of thousands of people every year in the United States. When you actually look at it, it's hard to figure out which individual deaths are due to it, but it's easy to look at the overall number of deaths to certain diseases and see how many are being caused. I think it was like 98,000 a year or something insane. 80,000 a year. It's a real large number. There's racial justice elements too. A lot of black people end up living in areas with high air pollution because the rents are cheaper there and they're kept in poverty, so that's all they can afford to live in. So the system doesn't care much about it. But there's a ton of African Americans suffering asthma as a result of this, and that kills sometimes. I tell you, as an EMT, we had to be trained how to deal with, asthma attacks, because sometimes people can get life-threatening asthma attacks, and sometimes they don't make it. Especially if they're not able to access emergency inhalers because of poor access to healthcare, because of the U.S. healthcare system being absurdly expensive in order to drive up profits for the rich. It's, essentially, capitalism has healthcare being accessible to poor people so that rich people can be richer. That's what it boils down to in the end. There's always so many resources in society, and how they distribute it is a choice. Anyways, sitting here trying to think what I want to do on this river farm tile. Do a solar panel for one more energy. Not sure whether or not that would. Let's see, I can kind of test it. 4, 2, 5. So actually shifts point from labs to econ and does a wasted site point. Not super useful then to have one more energy income. Do a sensor array. Found mineworm attacks are so rare, it's really worth it though. Condenser seems the obvious choice. For an extra nutrient. Give me one more minute. Okay, yeah. I had to think and look at stuff for a minute. Got a few things we're kind of running against each other here. This base can't really grow past size 7, even with the little trick I kind of came across there without more energy income. It can feed itself at size 7, but actually it would struggle to feed itself much past that without more 2 nutrient tiles. But more importantly, there's no way to get a 4th talent very easily without substantially increased raw energy production. So, what I need to do, probably because I need nutrients and energy to sustain the extra 2 pops, is eventually I'll have boreholes, and I'll have infrastructure that will make this more worthwhile. I probably need some solar panels either along the river or some of these tiles. This one's over 1,000 meters. It seems this could level it eventually. This tile I could raise and put solar panels if I really want it. I don't think it would disrupt the river, but it's actually an ideal spot for a borehole. Not on the river below 1,000 meters, so it doesn't kind of sloped. So, directly next to a base, so it's not like it's blocking a potential base site even. Like I could put one here if I wanted, but not there. Yeah, it looks like about a little more, a third of energy is going to waste. If I had 3 solar panels, probably get 2. That's not gonna get enough energy. Shoot. May just have to accept the base. I'll set it size 7. Or I can slow grow it up to 9. I have the ability to keep the base happy at size 9 without any more investment in happiness. I just don't have a way to boom it past 7. So the last 2 would have to be slow grown, which is expensive. Probably better off waiting until I can build a Chone's creation booming. Right. Which case probably gonna bring this transport here. It's only 3 former turns to do a solar panel or solar collector on flat land. No, it's 4 on rolling terrain like this. Shoot. Put one here. Because next turn I'll bring this here. No, then that's the turn I'll finish the solar collector, and then yeah, that's fine. I'll be able to transport the former assist tile without Of course, I could just done a solar collector there where it was your former turns. But yeah. Or I guess I'll send the transport to Alluvial Council and probably do that solar collector next and then the condenser. Reason I'm not really prioritizing the condenser, even though it helps nutrients here, is this is gonna be exactly it's gonna grow. It's gonna have 3 nutrients in on 18, so this will be 15 to grow. I don't think I can have a condenser done by then. It's just it's gonna be messy, and it's probably just all nutrients I'm gonna waste until the base is booming anyways, is what I'm getting at. If I go here, then I can go south and put farms on these rainy tiles actually next, which will help Hydrology Council. It'll boom a bit more cheaply and sustain a larger population. So, yeah. Alright. Yeah, condenser is worth. Oop. Being worth per there, so it's not. It takes a long time to pay for self with soul growth. It's eventually worth more, but return investment is not great. So, solar collectors, a little extra energy. Then more farms. And then I could just raise this tile here. I was thinking about keeping hydrology console on the water for some reason. That's actually kind of dumb. I could raise 5 tiles with a single raise elevation from here. Probably wasn't going to build a sea. It's going down this bit of water anyhow. The river would not end here, so that would probably continue. I mean, I guess it could end up in a lake here, but it might actually continue quite a few tiles along this way. So it could be useful. And it would, importantly, free up a spot once removed a fungus for a thermal borehole with mineral bonus. So even before I get ecological engineering. I just need somewhere to work the thing. Ideal spot for a base probably here where I have the monolith, but where I still would have sea access for what it's worth. Problem is I'd have to go through fungus to get there. Only one tile of it, but it's a little bit risky. Definitely have to escort the former. In the calling pod, I guess I could use the transport. So if I uncover mine worms, I could get at least the calling pod out of danger quickly. The transport probably sacrificed. That's healing.
Request confirmation.
Probably rush that. It's very affordable to do so. There's lots more farming to be done. Oh yeah, that farmer could go right here next turn. Well, these ones are adding solar panels and farms. This farmer could help with a condenser. Just build use the road to get there. That's nice. Maybe I will transport one of the formers here. Transport's here. Go boom. Grab one of the formers. It's just finish solar collectors and go boom. 3 formers in the condenser will be built reasonably quick. And I'll do a farm right under it. And the other one can do these farms. It's not a huge priority. Alright, and one more rover I can hunt mine worms with. I could cynically send it here to help, I don't know, rush out her recycling tank. Eh, it's nothing good to do it on. Let's just look for mine worms. Nope, didn't find any. This turn. Let's move these guys so less collateral damage. Tat. Not likely to find such mine worms. Right? could send the Uni rover to guard one of these formers against the ram worm attacks. Maybe. Maybe. Probably not good use. We should just left the Uni rover here. So we could hunt worms more efficiently. Definitely should have, but oh well. Alien artifact.
Terraform complete.
Very close to this missile squad now.
Request confirmation.
That's cheap. Do that and then get to work on another former right away. Lots of work to be done.
Request confirmation.
There is much work to be done, comrades. Alright, it's a reference to a game. Oh, but it fits real life, too. I'm trying to remember, is that from Red Alert or Command Conquer Generals? Might have been. It's from like a bulldozer or worker unit or something. I want to say it's Communist China, but it might have been actually from the GOA, which makes less sense since they're religious fundamentalists, not socialists. I guess comrade is the word used around the world. Hydrologic Council is booming. Do I keep a doctor active? Nope. Nope. They're gonna lose their golden age. I'm not gonna be able to reestablish it no matter what. Looks like and they should be able to grow regardless this turn. No reason to do that. It's just extra damage. Risk. Fun. Wait, who's working? Oh, civil rights. It's working there. Just getting a little crowded. I'll do this. Ram mine worms are rare. Keep this one, which can work any of the 3 bases free in case I need to shuffle things around. Or actually, shoot, no. I don't need, let's see, 322, 33, an extra lab point and more minerals. No desperate need of nutrients here. Either gain nothing because it pop booms, or I'll gain 3 and have 4, which is enough to run a couple extra specialists if I really needed it. But I can't boom the base anyways without more Psych from energy. Oh no, wait, it's I'm saying it's already got 4 talents. Here it's got 4, here it's got 4. Ah, I see. It does this. Shoot, it's still going to lose its golden age. Going to next turn either way. Okay. Maybe able to reestablish it though. Move them all the way to size 8. Actually, all the way to size 9, even. Nice. Occasional use of doctors. Whatever, it's gonna be intermittent. Doctors, I think this is fine. Could be wrong. Just considering whether I actually want to work that for the nutrients then. Because it will need some in store to reactivate a golden age. Size 7. I think it's either 1 or 2 doctors I have to work. And they reach size 8. I don't know, I could be screwing this up, but it's a lot of head math. Either way, the missile squad's about to be done. And the former here is free. To go chop this another farm. And this will put the transport where it needs to be to help the missile squad along. It could be here or here, but this will go to this tile. I do need more farms. Possibly more solar panels, but definitely more farms. These are all taking advantage of that force condenser. They wouldn't be raining without it, so it's paying off even more now. What am I doing for time? An hour and 20 minutes. It's getting very close to the point where I normally cut a video in 2. So sorry, not a lot of excitement down here in Spartan lands yet. Next turn, I'm about to probably, or next session, I'll probably begin the assault on Fort Superiority. Should be able to take this. But if I make this go much longer, I have to be cutting into 2, and that'll be 2 videos instead of 1. You guys have to wait until you see more of the combat. So at this point, I'm going to cut this. I'm lagging today. I'm not thinking very clearly or quick, so it's probably better if I save the combat for when I'm sharper. Till then, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Find yourselves. May you always find a gangster lead on. Adieu. Best luck.